My name is Rhonda Nicholson, and I'm a business program manager for Microsoft. I work in a readiness organization, and there's multiple organizations like this inside the company. The organization I work for is called SMSG Readiness. It stands for Sales, Marketing, and Services. We train all of the internal sellers, marketers, and services folks against everything from compliance, required training, to new skills that they need. That's our job. There's about 130 people in my organization. And we do everything from, we own the business relationships with all the other organizations, like the Azure team, for example, the O365 team. So we own those relationships. We have to understand what their priorities are, what are their big bets for the year, what are they trying to sell, what are they trying to commit to, and then we have to go develop curriculums against this and make sure that the whole team is ready. So the interesting thing about this job is that sometimes it's hidden from us, even us inside in the company, when the next product is going to come out and what's inside that product. So that's kind of been an interesting challenge for us, because we have to really learn how to be agile and just be ready. So we have amazing tools. A lot of the things that the Salesforce folks have talked about and that Comcast folks have talked about is everything that we all have the same challenges in a corporate environment. What I wanted to tell you about was a story about, it does involve the on word, I'm sorry. But I want to tell you a story about the Microsoft's transformation. So you might have noticed we're going through a huge transformation at Microsoft. We no longer sell software. We're not a software company. We're mobile first. We sell services, devices. We make sure that we're cloud first, mobile first. So when Satya came on board, he announced that nearly immediately, and our COO, Kevin Turner, came and knocked on the door, and we said, "Hello, who is it?" And he said, "Kevin Turner, your COO. When will my sellers be ready for this new mobile and device? We're rolling this out. When are we ready?" We're like, "Okay, we're working on it." So we go down through the list of all the assets we have. We have some amazing things. We have our own internal YouTube where folks share, they create their videos, very much like what you're doing. They create their own videos, share it up. Folks will comment, post. So there's a big collaboration community there. We have a tool called Role Guide, and this is a role-based training tool. It's mobile. There's a Windows 8 app. There's also, of course, a web service website. You can service this from anywhere. And from there, I can log in, and it knows who I am, what I need to do, when it's due by, what skills I have, and it will recommend training for me. So we have all these really amazing things. We have all kinds of events that we deliver. We have hundreds and hundreds, even inside our organization, and thousands across the company, of LMSs. Just even SharePoint sites where documents are. So we have to solve the challenge of, there's so much information, how do I find what I need? And how do I know it's the most recent information, that I can trust it, and it's relevant, and it's what I need? So we've solved that problem too by creating a platform that brings all the information in, but we curate the most important information and verify that this is exactly, most likely what you're looking for based on your role. Here's the top 30 assets. For example, on Azure, you're going to find customer presentation decks, you're going to find some videos, you're going to find some white papers. Here's everything you need. Now, if you want to click and drill down, you can go and see everything that's out there and surf around. Maybe there's something else that you want. Those are problems that we'd already solved, but what we hadn't solved for was this big Microsoft ship turning very rapidly and changing and transforming into a different direction. And we had to take our sellers and say, look, you're no longer selling to IT. You're not selling products to IT. You have to learn how to have a customer conversation with a business decision maker. You need to go in and talk with a CEO, and you need to be able to understand what's top of mind for her or him. What are their business pain points? What do their financials look like? What do they care about? You can't even begin to sell Azure or O365 to a CEO unless you can talk to them about what their business is. So we realized that out of all the tools that we had, we were super great at getting our sellers to be able to have the knowledge and comprehend what they had to do, but we didn't have a way to massively scale out new skills, how to have a conversation. Okay, we didn't have a way to do that. We had something that was really close. We had something called Pitch Perfect, and that was kind of a program that we still do, but it's very slow moving. What happens is we train all of the managers to develop a certain customer pitch, and then they interact with each of their employees, and they practice the pitch back, and it's scored and graded, and it's good. Everybody likes it. It's a really great way to practice, but it's too slow for us for what we had to do. So we took a good look at what we thought was going to work for us, and we decided that we needed to look at corporate MOOCs. Now, we were a little bit afraid because we looked at the completion rates for the normal MOOCs out there, and we're like, gosh, 7% completion. And I got to tell you, our sellers are picky. They're super picky, just like your developers too. You got to find those little windows of time when they can work. And if it's not good, they're going to walk away. Even if it's required training, they'll complain, right? They'll just complain, I don't have 30 minutes this month to do this required training you've rolled out. It's not good enough. And so we had to make sure that the quality was really here. So with the corporate MOOC, what we did was we partnered with the INSEAD School of Business out in Paris. And what they helped us to do was deliver an MBA-style curriculum that was tailored to the specific Microsoft seller point of view. And we shipped half of our readiness team out to Paris, along with our professional recording studio team. They went out and they actually taught the course over a weekend to this group, and we videotaped it. So the quality here was like, when we chunked that up and turned it into videos, it made you feel like you were in the room when you took the course MOOC style. So we had that, and we said, how are we going to still get to those higher, Kirkpatrick levels of learning? How do we get to analysis? How do we get to, evaluation, synthesis, et cetera? And so content design was really where we needed to focus. And what we did was we partnered with another platform vendor who created this platform for us. And they made sure that, first of all, it was gamified, because the sellers they're very competitive. And we made sure that there were leaderboards and badges. You completed the number of points you needed this week. And I will tell you what, out of all the support calls that we had, none of them were about anything in the content, because it was good. It was about how come Joe got 5 more points than I did. I'm pretty sure I did everything in this week. Like, how did that happen? And we'd be like, oh, I think there's a bug in the system. But that's what they cared about, and it was just super competitive. So the gamification definitely worked. When they were done, of course, they got this INSEAD digital badge that everybody put up on their LinkedIn page right away, because they were proud of this. First of all, this was an 8-week course that we designed. It was called Business Strategy and Financial Acumen. And we taught them everything about how to go in and research a company, figure out their financials, figure out their ROI, what's their value chain, how do they give value. And so there was a lot of this in here. It was all new to them, in addition to how to have the conversations. There were, discussion forums. The thing that blew us away about the discussion forums was we discovered that the sellers were learning more from each other than they were learning from all this instructional design that we had put in place and content we created. And we were like, wow, that's great, right? Like, they're learning more from each other, and the quality of what they were putting in their posts it blew us away. Out of the very first pilot that we did last year, we ran 1,000 sellers through the first course, and there were over 32,000 posts. And these were like, they'd write paragraphs and share the documents and PowerPoints, and it was pretty great. We also had assignments, so assignments were built in as well as quizzes, and they would publish their assignments and be publicly viewable to everyone else inside that cohort, which made the quality of the assignments, happened when you do that. They went up, and then the folks could rate them or put comments or likes or whatever. And then the final thing was they had a big assignment at the end. What we had done was in the very first day of class, they had to pick a customer that they were already working with. So this was a customer they were inherently interested in studying the financials for, because it was going to benefit them. They did all their assignments based on this customer, and then at the end, they did their final assignment, which was worth a good chunk of the grade. That got published, and it was peer-reviewed. So we used that kind of standard peer review that you can get out of a MOOC, and that was the only way we could have scaled. There's no way we could have delivered this in an ILT fashion, because the year before we had done, 12 months before, I think we did 407 ILT classes across 83 countries. And we had only trained 4,565 sellers. Well, we had 20,000 sellers we had to train, and there was just no way we were going to do it otherwise. So the MOOC for the win on that was really good. end results in terms of what happened. We had 85% completion rate. These are folks that actually completed enough points to be able to earn a certificate. We had 98% satisfaction, and we're all, because of the success of that one course, we've since developed several more. Our CO, Kevin Turner, says everyone in all sellers will take these. We have 3 courses now, 3 courses next year. And so what we've been doing is working with EdCast to say, hey, look, this is really kind of, fortunately, been very successful, and we need a partner to help get us to the next level. And so we've been working very closely with the EdCast team to take us to the future. So, do I have 1 more minute, or are you done? Oh, I have 1 minute. Okay, I want to read this to you. I printed this out. So this is we got a couple dozen of these. This is a note that a seller sent at 9 o'clock in the night on the day that this course ended. Okay, so Sunday, December 14th, 2014, 9 o'clock. I would like to say thank you for the amazing opportunity to participate in the INSEAD Financial Acumen and Business Strategy course. As you may know, the course concluded tonight. I'm very impressed with the curriculum and quality of professors on staff at INSEAD. They're very highly engaging, and the online platform builds a great experience for the students. This was a rigorous 9 weeks of education. Course week was completed primarily on the weekends or in the evenings. Even as a finance business administration major, I found the material challenging. We went deep into the creation and analysis of financial statements. At the end of the course, I had not only researched my new client, Symantec, to a new level of breadth and depth that I will now transfer to my other accounts, but I have great ideas for how to land our value proposition in their terms: value chain, value creation, ROI, net present value, etc. I'm a hands-on learner, so I'm excited to put this material to work in a real-life scenario and fully gain the benefit as it sets in over time. I'm about to approach a competitive situation at Symantec where this learning could prove to help differentiate me and our team and the Microsoft solution. This is a very generous contribution to my growth and development, and I would like to ensure it is known how grateful I am for the opportunity. I highly recommend this course. We got dozens of these, so thank you very much.